might be urinary tract infection. So what I would suggest you get is the Neurovet. It's like it's salmon flavored gel for them. You put it onto their paws, on the top of their paws, and they'll lick it off, and that's how you give it to them. You don't put it on their food or nothing like that, because they won't eat it that way. It's like you gotta kind of force them to eat it by just putting it on their paws, and it's like, and they'll groom themselves. You know, it's like clean themselves. You know, end up getting what they need is this, and they'll help with the infection. But in the meantime, for the smell, I would recommend the air sanitizer, Ozium air sanitizer, and then for the litter box, I would suggest the mini litter. Just sprinkle a tiny bit on, just over it, just enough so that you can see some of the flakes. It has like little blue flakes inside of it with white. It's pretty cheap, not expensive at all. Or Arm & Hammer Double Duty Litter Deodorizer. Damn, I can't say that word. But it's also feces and urine smell, so that will help there in the meantime until the problem's corrected with urinary tract infection. And another solution to getting your cat to go into the litter box is using litter box attractant. It's inexpensive. Add a little bit to the litter box. I'd wait till they go into one litter box, and then I'd continue to put it in there. And if you have more than one cat, you just put it into that box that the other cat usually goes in, or if your cat just go in any box that you have, then that's fine. And the other cat will get the hit, and it will go to that box to go to the bathroom. But they may fight over that box depending on how many boxes you have. But I would suggest per cat 2 to 3 boxes, litter boxes, for them to go into the litter box. But in the meantime, for the smell, I would recommend the air sanitizer, the Ozium air sanitizer, and then for the litter box, whenever you prepare your litter boxes at the beginning of the week, I would suggest the mini litter. You just sprinkle a tiny bit on, just over it, just enough so that you can see some of the flakes. It has like little blue flakes inside of it with white. It's pretty cheap, not expensive at all. Like in the other video I did, you also use that. It's the Arm & Hammer Double Duty Litter Deodorizer. Damn, I can't say that word. But it's also feces and urine smell, so that will help there in the meantime until the problem's corrected with urinary tract infection. Or another problem could be is your litter boxes are too small. I would suggest the tote box, not these litter boxes, or the cat litter box you currently have. That if you have one of the ones that has the housing unit on the outside and has a door flap, cats don't like to be trapped. I don't even know why they even bother selling those litter boxes, because if you have more than one cat, the problem starts with having one more cat and they're not going into it, is you need to have an open room so that the cat doesn't feel trapped. So I would just remove the lid and get 1 or 2 more litter boxes, which I would suggest the totes, which is cheap compared to these litter boxes that they charge quite a bit of money for a piece of plastic. If you're deciding to get 2 cats, if you only have 1 cat, I would just want to keep in mind, if you usually want to get 2 of the same gender, unless you have the other one fixed, male and female. But if you're getting the same gender, you want to make sure at least they're both fixed, because if your cats aren't fixed and you currently bring a cat into your home that isn't fixed, one of your cats or both of your cats might not decide to go into the litter box. They'll decide to pee anywhere they please, because or they'll start fighting over who uses what litter box. Mine do that from time to time, but now that I got one of mine fixed, the problem has gone away with my new Bengal cat not going into their box. After when I first got him, everything was fine, and then 4 or 5 months in, he started frequently peeing anywhere in the house. And another solution, especially for Bengal cats, and random other cats too, is having a bigger litter box. If they feel trapped in any way, they won't go into it, and those litter boxes that have the hoods over it are practically useless, because cats don't like to feel trapped, so I'd get rid of those and switch over to the tubs litter boxes. So not only are the tub litter boxes better for your cats for whenever you want them to make sure they're continuing to use the litter boxes, but it also keeps all the litter into the box instead of being all over the floor. So if you have little litter boxes like this and you get litter all over the floor like constantly, even if you have like a rug, like I do, I have like a rug or anything to kind of catch it, one of them little pet catchers, litter still gets all over the place in these types. So I wouldn't use them. It'd be easier to use the tote instead because everything's in there and they can scoop all they want and it won't be all over the place. And I also suggest that you use sand because it's less messy. Now if you're currently looking for a better solution for cat litter box that's not going to cost you a whole lot, it's not going to be so expensive like some of the ones you see at Walmart and different surrounding stores are like $20, $30. Better solution for cat litter boxes is use a typical tote box that you use to store things in. They come a little under $4, and as you'll see the images that I'll pop up on each side of the screen for when I get to talk about certain things. Not only is the totes a lot cheaper than those typical cat litter boxes, and there are some cheap ones at Walmart that they offer whenever you look online for the price range, but they come in this size, which is very small for the cats, and a lot of house cats don't like boxes that touch their behind in any way whenever they're squatting to do their business. So this would be just for a kitten and not a full-grown adult cat. And then another solution that I have for cat litter, if you're tired of buying cat litter that's like $20-something a box and you go through it, depending on if you have more than one cat or 2 cats, 3 cats, I would suggest sand, the kids play sand. It works just as well. You may have to add additional cleaners to it. I would suggest the double duty litter deodorizer. It works well, or you get the carpet version. I like the carpet version because it's a little bit more potent. You don't have to put as much on, you just barely sprinkle it on like you're sprinkling on salt. So it's double duty Arm & Hammer. Or if you want a different option, you have the Mimi litter. You sprinkle that on in the beginning of a clean litter box, and it should stay fresh throughout the week. And depending on the sand, because the sand is reusable, if you pre-scoop it and then garbage day you put it outside, but that's for a different video. Go ahead, and now with the cat litter sand, definitely a lot better alternative to the traditional litter choices you have out there. Is as long as you have a few litter boxes, the cat will choose to use one for peeing in, the other one for pooping in, and you can always put the one that they pee in, because it'll be stinkier, in a room that, like, once your cat identifies that box that it's going to pee in it, then you just put that in another room far away from the door, so in case you have company, or into another room, whatever you need to do. But you should always have at least per cat. I would have about 2 litter boxes per cat, and then maybe a third one in a room if it sleeps in the room with you at night, tucked away in a closet or something. But if you have 2 cats, you just gotta at least have 4 boxes out into the main room for that to work properly. So if you see by the prices and the comparison that I showed you up on the screen here, is a lot cheaper than the alternatives, like this slide type of litters where it supposedly clumps the litter up, and there's a whole thing about that one I want to get into later in a different video about how crappy it really is. For over $20 a box, it's really not that great, especially whenever you go to scoop it during the week before you're going to change it in between, you know, the garbage day. It ends up being entirely like a big rock, and it like sticks to the bottom. And if you don't want to do the sand, another alternative is the double duty Arm & Hammer litter. I think it's pretty great for not being like cement on the bottom of the litter boxes. And I would not recommend the plastic cat litter scoopers. I recommend the metal. That's what I have, is metal. I also have plastic, but I'll switch over to metal. Give it a try with your cat and see what works for you. Hopefully it does, because my cats love it. You see them through the example of my video. They'll choose one to poop in, one to pee in.